Hello, my name is Abigail Flores, and this is my spiritual self help podcast, Divine FM. Today is going to be episode 26. The title is Stepping into Your Power and Breaking Down to Break Through. I had the inspiration for this episode mostly because I have been breaking down. And honestly, I feel very hopeful that I am nearing the light at the end of the tunnel because life has been feeling very heavy for me. Very just just very heavy. It just feels like every time I get past an obstacle, there's another one. And everything has been testing my patience. And patience has been the thing that I've really been trying to work on. So it's just mysterious to me that everything in life right now, it just seems like it's seemingly working against me, but I know it's not. It's just life testing me. And so yeah, I just felt like breaking down to breakthrough was pretty on point for how I've been feeling and what's been on my mind. And I'm just going to talk about it. But before I do, I'm going to talk about my highs and lows of this week. I would say they both are intertwined but have very different reasons why it's my high and my low. So I'm going to say my high was the fact that I've had so many opportunities to expand my business as of recently, and I feel so lucky, so grateful, so blessed to be part of a community that is so welcoming, so beautiful, so open, to me. And I've always felt like kind of an outsider, and now that I've found this community of people who also are trying to be entrepreneurs and also are trying to be their authentic selves, and it's hard out here, and so it just feels great to be around like-minded people. So I feel so just happy and above the moon, if that's the correct saying, just because I feel very fulfilled for sure with my business and where I'm going. And I just love doing markets so much. The more that I do them, it's not like the easier it gets, but it's more like the muscle memory makes the harder parts less hard, so I don't dread setting up and breaking down is always hard because I do it completely on my own. And so I just get so hot and sweaty and frustrated, and everything is so heavy, and regardless of how strong I am, I still don't want to be lugging around heavy shit all the time like I have been doing. And so it just gets exhausting after a while. And I just have been really trying to push through and try to see the light at the other end of the tunnel, I suppose, when it comes to all this work I'm putting into my business, because I'm not the only one obviously going through all of the struggles with pop-up markets. It's like a common struggle, the sweat, the blood, the sweat, the tears, all of the above. But it makes it worth it in the end, because if you really are passionate about something and you put so much of your energy and love into it, eventually it's gonna work out for you and you're gonna succeed. It's kind of like the recipe for life and for success. So yeah, I feel very happy. I have no intentions to stop doing markets. Oh, I didn't even say why that was my high. I did 3 markets this past this past week. It was so crazy. I did apartment 144 third Thursday, and then I did Beauty House Lily Market on Friday, and then I did the St. Paul Square Market on Sunday. So that was very fun. And I am trying to work on how to make my business more profitable. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about my yawning. I hope I didn't cause anyone else to yawn. I know I did, but I already apologized, so I'm not gonna do it again. Anywho, regardless of how sales are, I always feel so lucky to have that pure and genuine social interaction with people who are attending the markets and who are, supporting my small business, and also the other vendors. I've met so many new friends. I just feel, yeah, so happy, so happy, so happy, and so lucky. And, I could talk forever about how much I love doing my side business and how much it excites me for the future, and how much it inspires me. And not only myself inspiring me, but being around, like-minded people, like all of the friends I have made and all of just the community in general that I'm now a part of. It's so inspiring to be a part of, and very motivating, and yeah, it really helps me on my healing journey because everyone else is also trying to just be themselves, and so it makes it a little bit easier for me to come out of my shell whenever I'm feeling a little bit anxious, But yeah, let me see, my low. I guess my low, kind of has to do with the markets, but it's not the market specifically. It's more just the exhaustion that comes from doing the markets. And not just that, on top of that, working my 8 to 5, and then doing markets has just been a little bit extra on my body, I guess. And so I've definitely been feeling a bit fatigued, borderline burnout, but I'm pretty good about not letting myself get to that point where I'm actually at that burnout stage, because it's so hard to get out of that once you actually reach burnout. So pro tip, don't let yourself reach burnout. Whenever you start to feel like you're going to reach burnout soon, really, 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 really step back and rest. Take a day off, call in. Even if you don't have PTO, just call in anyways. But yeah, my low really is just being exhausted, feeling tired. But I think that also comes with me being in my resting and receiving era of my life. And I have to get used to letting myself rest and letting myself do nothing, and also seeing doing nothing as being productive, because I feel like it's a common thing a lot of people struggle with, feeling like productivity equals getting things done and moving forward. And sometimes productivity really is taking care of our bodies and our mental health, and just tidying around our houses and just doing things that we've been pushing off that would release a weight off of our shoulders. So that's what I've been doing. Once I started to feel a little bit, sad and just low energy, I started to organize my room a little bit. I shaved my face and did, a little bit extra step of self-care that I don't always do, but I would, obviously love to be done to me, so I did it. And that helped a lot. Just getting myself out of that. Just, I don't know, whenever I feel tired physically, it registers in my brain as sadness for some reason. I don't know exactly what the math and science is behind that, but yeah, so whenever I feel really physically exhausted, or just also mentally drained, both kind of, it definitely makes me feel a little bit sad, emo. And I never like whenever I feel that way, because I also struggle with feeling lonely, and so I typically am alone whenever I'm feeling those sad emo whatever, those sad feelings. And so I have been really trying to work through and work on progressing through those emotions and not letting them affect my actual state of being, my actual state of mind at the moment. Because I know that even though I'm feeling those heavy feelings and these heavy feelings in this moment, it's not, it's just temporary. It's not going to last forever. It probably will only last the next, couple of minutes or so, unless I continue to think about it and not let it go. But, I'm definitely in a part of my journey where I'm very aware of like the control that I have of my reality, and so I'm like very also much so willing to let it go for the sake of my mental health. So, yay. But it doesn't like, take away from the fact that I had to do that like alone. But I think working on my loneliness has really, really helped me with my what is it called whenever you it's not like having a anxious attachment style, but it's more just like it's mostly just working on my sense of independence and feeling happy by myself. I would feel, is it anxious attachment? I don't know. I haven't done enough research on it, honestly, to like say that I have that, because I don't think I do, but I don't know. I'm just gonna move past that little note right there. Let's take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I just have been trying to work on noticing and being present with myself whenever I'm feeling, low, heavy emotions, sad emotions, and letting myself feel them, and trying to be extra gentle with myself in those moments. Like right now, whenever I'm feeling pretty low and very lonely, and just like, adulthood is a lonely experience, and I don't think we were warned enough. At least I don't remember being warned enough about how much time we would be left to spend with ourselves, and how important it is to develop like a healthy relationship with yourself, which a lot of us do not have. And like I feel like because of that, like that's why so many of us are like, including myself, struggle with our mental health, because we spend so much time with ourselves, and we like, genuinely don't really like ourselves that much. Like I put on a really good front. Like I try very, very hard to be so in love with myself, but some days I just can't kick it. Like some days I really just feel low, and I feel insecure, and I feel, sad about one thing or another regarding myself, and like that's just because I'm a human being, and I'm gonna feel those feelings regardless of how healed I am. And so making sure that I allow myself, and I am comfortable enough with the act of sitting with my emotions in order to feel safe whenever those emotions do arise. I already have the tools on my belt in order to, sit with them, heal from them, and move on in a, seemingly short amount of time. At least that's the goal. Oof. I hate that I just talked about that for... Actually, I don't hate it. It honestly, like, walked straight into the topic very well of breaking down to break through. I don't have any notes with me, any books, no nothing for this podcast. I really just wanted to speak from the heart, because I can't be the only one who's going through a really heavy period of their life right now. Right now I feel like has been a time full of lessons, and old lessons almost, like coming up, and me seeing whether or not I'm going to repeat the same cycles, and I'm going to treat myself the same way as I have in the past, and I'm going to act the same way that I have in the past. And it's just so like frustrating, having old triggers come up that still, can linger and feel a bit triggering. And even as I'm fairly far along with my healing on a lot of things, like sometimes I still tip over the edge a bit, and it's hard. It's really, really hard, like having that realization, that humbling moment that like, holy crap, like I really am not as far as I would like to believe I am, like in my healing journey, when it comes to like certain aspects of like my life and my whatever things that are triggering for me, and life will continue to go on, and I will for sure pick up new triggers. And I just want to reiterate the fact that I don't want you guys to think that I'm perfect. or that I think that I'm like some healed being that's above all and that I know it all, because that's like the opposite of how it really is, you know. I genuinely just feel confident enough, like within myself, I guess, to speak on the things that I've gone through and to speak on how I've like gone through them successfully, because I know a lot of my friends that I'm the type of person where like it's not easy for me to like make friends like that and like have them consistently, you know. So I would say, 90% of the people in my life have known me from a fairly young age. And even so, like, even if you've only known me since like college time or high school, or I think it's pretty evident how different of a person I was than I was, 5 years ago. I also was, I don't know. I guess let me say trigger warning. I'm gonna talk about, how do I say? I don't know exactly the right wording for a trigger warning, but I'm gonna talk about anxiety and depression real quick. All right. Has everyone exited out? Okay. I definitely attempted to kill myself multiple times. I definitely was very, very down bad. Like, don't get me wrong, I had zero sense of good mental health not that many years ago. Like, one of the I just put a gummy in my mouth. I took it out. I have no business eating a freaking gummy. I'm literally recording a podcast. I'm so silly. Anywho, holy shit, I forgot what I was saying. Oh my god. I'm literally dead. Okay, I'm gonna eat the gummy now. Sorry guys. Maybe I'll remember what I was talking about. Breaking down a breakthrough. I don't remember. Oh, that's sad. Well, it is what it is. I'll just continue on. I guess another thing that's been on my mind when it comes to breaking down to breakthrough is letting yourself change your mind and letting yourself be flaky and not be perfect, and seeing that as just as valuable as being consistent, as being reliable. Sometimes it's better to think of yourself and choose yourself and do things that are for yourself before others, because it shows that you have a sense of respect for yourself. It shows that you're not a people pleaser. You're not gonna be walked all over, but whilst you are making those decisions, it's never easy, because I feel like we're wired almost from a young age to people please, to not strain from the normalcy of society, and being someone who, and I'm not even really that odd, honestly. I still feel like such an outsider. If you feel in any way that you can't relate to people who are around you and it really just gets to you, I think that's a really good way to show that you're growing, to show that you're evolving. I actually have this one affirmation in my journal that I look at all the time, but I highlighted it today in orange, and it says, feeling discomfort equals, or like being uncomfortable equals an opportunity to grow, which I think is very wise. And I had also written in my entry that day something along the lines of, it really excites me finally having this realization that, I've been trying to discover what the key was to spiritual growth. What is it that helps me evolve from one level to the next? What is it that is that, same recurring feeling and thought process that I haven't really put a pin on, but I have done like so many times in different areas of my life. Like, what is it that I can rely on and I can remember to do whenever I'm like, stuck or something, and like, or I'm feeling stagnant, and I really need to find some way out of that, to find some movement in my life. And I realized that anything that makes me feel uncomfortable is an opportunity to grow. And so you need to run towards those opportunities to grow. Thus, you need to run towards situations and opportunities and things and people that would, not like in a bad way uncomfortable, but in a like, you are scared but you want to do it, like run towards that. Like, basically facing your fears, and as much as you don't want to hear that, probably, I have been slowly but surely trying to do that, run towards things that make me really uncomfortable. And I can promise you and literally give you 10 out of 10 rating that every time I've done it, it has helped me grow I have children. It has helped me grow so much as a person. Like, for example, the beauty house market I talked about earlier in the podcast. I've never applied for a beauty house market because I am aware that they're very popular and there's a lot of people, and I get nervous around that many people. I also had pushed myself to go to a concert, which I didn't even end up getting to attend the concert because it ended before right when I got there, which was really sad. But I tried to go to this concert right after the third Thursday market too, and that also was like an occasion where I was like really nervous because, oh my god, like parking and like, I don't know, being at a music venue on my own, and just there's just so many things that have to do with new things, and also with the beauty house thing. I never applied for beauty house because I knew that there was a lot of people that would show up to the market, and it just made me nervous and intimidated me. But since I've been kind of just trying to follow my intuition and follow, what makes me feel love and light, I suppose, the beauty house market kind of fell into my lap, and I ended up getting a spot that was discounted, and it was really, really nice, and I met some amazing people, and a lot of my friends were vending at the market. And it was just, all in all, such an amazing experience. And also, the night before, whenever I had gone to that concert, like, even though I had missed the concert, I still saw my friend who was playing in the concert, and it was just so nice. Like, I was really glad that I went, even though, what my intentions were didn't occur. Like, just the fact that I put myself out there and I did it with confidence, I felt so happy with myself after, and it just really helps prove to myself that I am becoming, and I am already this this version of myself that I want to be. And it really just makes me feel so full of just everything, love and light and appreciation and gratitude. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for where I am now, because it's taken me a long time to, officially and confidently say that I am, fairly sure that the things that I talk about on my podcast, I really hope you guys, like, actually try to attempt to, I don't know, you don't just take it with a grain of salt, like, at least with some of the stuff that I talk about, because genuinely I've been through a lot, and I'm so proud of the growth that I've made, like, mentally, and I can just only hope that someone could find my podcast who I would hope would not be, like, at the place that I was mentally, but, like, I know that it happens, and I know that people will be that low, so I would love to be a guiding light to those people, and also to anyone who's having, like me, I'm having a momentary sad day today, and I really didn't even want to record my podcast. And I actually skipped recording my podcast last week because I was feeling just so overwhelmed. And I'm honestly glad I did, because I clearly had a lot going on. I had 3 markets that week. But yeah, I am probably going to end this podcast, honestly, this episode. I just wanted to, I don't know, say how thankful I am for everyone who tunes in every week, and especially the people who have been here since the beginning and, like, you know, I'm sure, you know, like, taken with what I said, have taken what I said to heart, because I'm sure it would be annoying to listen to my podcast if you didn't actually care about, like, what I'm talking about. And yeah, I just feel so lucky to have this platform, to have my YouTube channel, to, you know, have so many amazing, beautiful friends and mentors and muses in my life. And I just couldn't be more thankful and more grateful, and I just, like, I'm oozing with gratitude, I feel like. And yeah, I'm just gonna end this episode now, but I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I hope you are gentle with yourselves today, and I hope you continue to take care of yourself and remind yourself of how much you are loved and how much you're appreciated. And if you're driving, please get to your destination safely. And if you are at work, it's almost over, so no worries. And I love you, and you are a blessing to this earth, and I am so thankful for you. I love you, and I'll see you next week on Divine FM. Bye, guys.